Well, I want to start by saying that I think Ricky has a twin brother, because today, I guess they did this for the other inductees or recipients. Ricky came to pick me up, make sure that I wasn't getting lost or anything. While he was driving, I got him, and an individual with a sign came up. Rick put his window down. The individual said, "I haven't eaten in 7 days." And Ricky said, "What willpower?" But I really appreciate this honor and want to thank the West Tampa Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors for selecting me to be the 2004 recipient of the George Guida Legacy Award. And I want to recognize his son, BB, that he said that he shouldn't have sent him to college because he's always making wise statements. Also, I want to congratulate the recipients of the awards, Leo and Sandra. And one other person that I want to express a special thanks to is Tina Hurlis. Is she around here? Tina? Okay, with this program that you have, she asked me for a picture or a photo. I sent it to her, and she tells me, "Oh, we don't want any baby pictures." And finally, I got the right one. But I also want to introduce my family that Rick said, you know, the 3 children, the 14 grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, etc. If y'all will stand or wave, my 3 children and their spouses and the grandchildren that are around. We thank you for being here. And before I start, I want to continue. I want to say the most important person in my life, which is she's been very patient, very understanding, is my wife, Mary. I don't know if she'll like this, but when I saw her, I knew she was Miss Wright. I didn't realize her first name was Always. Let me start by saying when we talked to, it was Earl Huckabuck, which they're past, Lois Garcia, Mark Garcia went to a little restaurant, and Mark and Lois were there. I said, fine. Then this big guy, and he was black, came out from the restroom. I said, boy, this set me up for something. And they were pretty serious. Earl came up. He was the president, and he explained what the position was, etc. The first thing that I want to say is that being that, as Rick said, Tony had passed, the membership was low. We said that we needed to have an organizational meeting, which we did go forward with our members and try to recruit or try to announce that we're going to have an operational educational meeting to see who was still interested in the West Tampa Chamber. We had the meeting across the street from the post office, which at one time was the George Guida business building. And I do want to say before I share anything else that what we went through, or when I was this executive director, not one person can take credit for it. It has to be a team, a committee, and members. So that's, and that is where we push the membership right close to 300 from starting with about 25 active members. And of course, my responsibilities increased. They told me exactly what it was: to increase membership, increase or do mixers, introduce the speakers, get the speakers, arrange for the food, etc. I know that I introduced a lot of speakers, and I only made 2 mistakes. The first mistake was with Mayor Bob Garcia. He went to Penn State, and I said he had gone to State Penn. And he forgave me for that. And the next one was with the mayor. She was a police chief then, which is Castor. And when she was a police chief, she had been inducted into the Hall of Fame at the University of Tampa. And I said that she was indicted into the Hall of Fame. So those are the only 2 mistakes that I made while introducing many speakers. Now, there were many things that I could speak about, but I want to focus on 3 or 4 things. The first thing that I want to focus on is the water tower that you see on Main. There was one of the members at that time, Armando Diaz, that said, hey, possibly that we could get that water tower painted. So, or have our logo on it, etc. So with that in mind, we went to see, at that time, Fernando Noriega and Charlie Miranda, and arranged a meeting and went to see Brad Baird. He was with the water department, I don't know in what scenario, but he said, well, that's fine, but that'll cost about $400,000 to paint the tower and have your information on it. Well, that was out of the question, but what they did say is, we're going to have it painted. It's going to be up for bid next year. When that's the case, we'll let you know what can be done. They were right true to their word. They called, it was painted, and then we talked to Bob Garcia also, because he would have to put some money, and the logo that says, welcome to West Tampa, or bienvenido, that cost $30,000. They had to fly a guy in from Maine because it was a special, and so on, and they went for it, and about 2 years later, if you see it, it's lighted at night. It wasn't lighted to begin with. So that's one of my favorite things that we did. And fortunately, Mark Garcia was the president when we did that. Even though he missed some meetings, but he got it done, and he took the opportunity to say, hey, I did this, and so on. The next thing is we had some calendars. And of course, a couple of people stole some of the calendars. They found them, and they each gave them 6 months each. Get it? Okay, but the calendar we had, and there were themes, like the cigar shops, the cigar factories, the baseball players from West Tampa, headed by Al Lopez, the great generation of West Tampa, such as Mr. Guida, the plumbing people, I'm trying to think, possibly Henry Gonzalez, who else? The cleaners, the brothers, what is it? Fonte brothers, thank you. Okay, okay. So that was great, and we also sold advertising. Each page was worth X number of dollars, and then the covers were worth twice as much. I might as well say it. Each page was worth 500 and the cover 1,000. And of course, we added, in many cases, sometimes the 13th month, which we would get more money for, January of the next year. But someone thought, well, if they hang that on the wall, no one will see it, because it's against the wall. So we had to do away with that. With that, back there, I think it was Tommy Castellano that said that. Okay, the next thing is the Citizen of the Year, as was explained by, I forget by whom, well, how it was explained by Jeanette, that the Citizen of the Year started with the Optimist Club in 1950. I believe in 2006, we started it again. By the same token, Alva Martinez was the last one in that scenario, and then it went to Rick Caldevilla at the 16th, and then it's starting again now in 24. I don't know what happened that with Rick it always stopped. Okay, and the good thing about it that Tina addressed is that after all the invitations came in, Julio, which of course passed, and now there's 3 members that you heard have passed. Luis Garcia, Julio Jovinko, and Earl Hockenbach. So that doesn't mean that you still don't want to serve on the chamber. Okay, there's no relation to anything going wrong with you. Okay, but after all the invitations were in, Tommy, Julio, and myself met at my house, and we made the seating arrangement. I take it back. We got all the invitations as to who wanted to sit with whom, and so on. And then we gave it to his wife, Carol, and she came out with where everyone sat and some charts, and it was really great. I thought that it was going to be difficult, but she did a great job. So with that in mind, I also want to say thank you. I appreciate everyone being here. I look forward for you all supporting the West Tampa Chamber. And certainly, again, thanks to the West Tampa Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors for awarding me the 2024, right? They said, I'm going to be 88 tomorrow. Okay. Okay. The 2024 Legacy Award. Thank you.